ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वम् यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगं समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे। असूर्या नाम ते लोका अन्धेन तमसावृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्या विगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकम् मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यानत्येति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानम् ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूत्विजानतः तत्र को मोहकः शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः सपर्यगात् शुक्रम् अकायमवृणम् अस्नाविरगम् शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभूः स्वयंभूः यथार्थान् व्यदधात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः अन्धन्तमप्रविशन्ति ये अविद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य उविद्यायागं रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुमधीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे विद्याम् चाविद्याम् च यस्तद्वेदोभयगम् सः अविद्ययाम् मृत्युम् तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धन्तमप्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य सम्भूत्यागुम् रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्सम्भवात् अन्यदाहुरसम्भवात् इति शुश्रुमधीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे सम्भूतिम् च विनाशम् च यस्तद्वेदोभयगम् सः विनाशेन मृत्युम् तीर्त्वा सम्भूत्यामृतमश्नुते हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषन् एकर्षे यमः सूर्यः प्राजापत्यः व्यूहरश्मिन् समूह तेजो यत्ते रूपम् कल्याणतमम् तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि वायुरनिलम् अमृतम् यथेदम् भस्मान्तगम् शरीरम् ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर अग्ने सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देवा वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मत् जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम ईशिता सर्वभूतानाम् सर्वभूतमयश्च यः ईशावास्येन सम्बोध्यम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ईशावास्येन सम्बोध्यम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ओम
Thank you, Nitya.
वेलकम डो हरि ओम
Hari Om and welcome to all. So we are into the second day of the Isavasyopanishad. Let me start with the Shanti Mantra. Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashi Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vivagine Vyomavat Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So in the last class we saw the Shanti Mantra Purnamada Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So Purnamada, everything is unknown or everything is Vipragashta, others Vipragashta, whatever is not perceivable, they are all Purna. Purna here stands for Brahman or completeness. There is Purnamidam also, which is perceivable universe or what is perceivable through mind, body and intellect and our sense organs. They are also Purnam only. Now, when everything is, what is unknown is Purnam, what is known is Purnam, everything else becomes Purna. So, Purnat Purnamudachyate. So, whatever is appeared here and whatever is not known, they all have come from Purna only. Because what comes out from something can only have that as a Karya-Karana Ananyatvad. So the mud pot is not different from the mud. Same way, gold ornaments are not different from gold. So whatever is seen as the Jagat or the world of perceivable universe or perceivable world for us has come out from that. So invariably that what perceivable world is also of Purna only or Brahman only. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Now the doubt can come if this perceivable world has come from Purna or Brahman, then Brahman would have become less by that much. Because for us, the perceivable world itself is so huge. So that a huge part has come out from the Brahman means the Brahman should have become lesser by that. So the mantra says, no, the Purnameva Vashishyate. From the infinity or from the Purna or from the completeness, even though the perceivable world appears to have come out, what remains is still remaining the Purnam or complete only. So that is how the mantra is to be understood. Now to the mantras of the Upanishad. As I told you, the language of this Upanishad is archaic. So the Sanskrit words also have to have archaic context into which the rishis have adapted it to the mantras. So the earliest Bhashya which we have is from Sri Shankaracharya, and based on that, whatever meaning has been derived, because Acharya Shankara himself is about 2000 years back. So 5,000-year-old is closer to Shankara than us. So we have to depend upon Adi Shankara for the meanings which he has arrived at. And anything which we are taking at today's context will not be the right meaning, because the later classic Sanskrit has come only much later than what the archaic Vedic Sanskrit was in use. In fact, we cannot call it as a Vedic Sanskrit itself. It is a part of Sanskrit which we call it as Chandas, not Sanskrit. Samskritam means purified. So here we have what is called Vedic is Chandas and not Sanskrit. So from the Chandas point of view, Acharya Shankara has commented upon the mantras, and we will be leaning upon his commentary for our understanding. So the first mantra goes like this. Om Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha ma gridha kasya siddhanam. So the meaning is very clear in the sense that, but for few words. So let me give the meaning of the words. Isha, ishte iti it tena isha. So therefore, how does the word isha come from? Is from the ishte root. Ishte is the chandas verb which means Aishwaryam. Aishwaryam means there are plenty of meaning for Aishwaryam. Ishwarasya Bhava is also Aishwaryam. And there is also omnipotence, which we will adopt here as the omnipotence as the nature of the word Isha. Isha is the causative formation of the third conjugation. So by Isha is the meaning, that is why Tena Isha is the meaning which Shankaracharya has taken. Ishida Parameshwaraha, Param Ishwaraha, Ishwaraha, Aishwaryasya Bhava. I told that, Aishwarya or the omnipotence. And the one with Param means supreme omnipotence is called Parameshwara. So Paramatma is the meaning we have to assume here. So Isha here stands for Paramatma because he is representing Parameshwara. And how does he become Paramatma? Paramatma, here also Supreme Atma is not separate from the individual Atma. It is just like the supreme space is not separate from the individual space. Same way Paramatma is Sarvasya Atma, therefore Paramatma. It is the Atma of everything. And because it is the Atma of everything, the Paramatma or Parameshwara is one and only. Sahi sarvam ishte sarva jandunam atma san pratyagatmataya. It is the very innate Atma or the self in all of us. See, we have a problem when we talk about Atma and Brahma. Our mentality to objectify everything by the mind traps us in understanding that Atma is also something residing within us. And we are different from that, or we are to see that Atma as what is to be observed or understood or known. But in this verse, Sarva Jandunam Atma San Pratyagatmataya is the word Shankara is using. Being the Pratyagatmataya by the nature of the innate self in all of us, it becomes Sarva Jantunam Atma. Every Jantu means here whatever has been born or created. So whatever has been born or created, everything is included in the Sarva Jantu. And everything has got a innate nature in it, that which is called Atma. That innate nature or the Swarupa or the Swabhava or the Swarupa is called Atma. So when we talk about Atma, we should understand that we are not talking about anything else other than we ourselves. But we do not know what we are. Our nature is not known to us. Our predominance of the body being us overrides all the knowledge, and the moment we are referred to who you are, we refer to our egoistic association with our body. So we think that we are the body, and therefore anything with the body is mine or mama. That is the way in which we look at the world itself. It is my world, my house, my wife, my house, my car. Everything related to that my is related to the body. But is it related to the nature of the individual who is in the body? We are able to differentiate our body from the knowledge who we are. We may not know who we are, but we can perceive our body as an object. Therefore, anything is objectifiable is not our subject, which is our Atma. So, there is a Pratyagatma in each one of the creation in the world, and all of them are sharing the same Atma. Therefore, Paramatma is not different from each of the Atma. So, Sarva Jandunam Atmadaya Pratyagatmadaya San Sarvatma Sarvasyatma Parameshwara iti. This is how it is equated by Adi Shankara in the first one word, Isha itself. He is referring to this Isha as every body has this Atma as its innate nature. Now, the second word is Vasyam. Now, Vasyam, the word accepted here, Vasyam is Vasana Yogyam is there, or Achadaniyam is another meaning. Vasana Yogyam means having the capability for dividing an indweller. So the house is Vasaniyam, meaning the house is capable of giving indwellership to whoever wants to occupy the house. But at the same time, when we take the word Achadaniyam, Achadaniyam means to cover. Svena Rupena Atmana Isha Vasyam Achadaniyam is what Acharya Shankara is saying. Svena Rupena Atmana. By being the very nature of individual Atma, Isha or Paramatma, Achadaniyam Vasaniyam as occupying or covering. Achadaniyam means to cover. Or see, if I am covering with a blanket, I am doing the Achadaniyam of an object with a blanket. So Achadaniyam means to cover. Here the cover is not in the sense of a second object covering covered by the first one. Here what the meaning we have to take is that by becoming the indweller of each and every of the creation, it is becoming part and parcel of the creation. Therefore, Achadaniyam is covering everything by becoming part of them. So, in the Purusha Sukta, I say that that Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayate. Even though have not taken place as bodily individual shapes, He occupies all the bodies of the individual creations. So Achadaniyam here means by indwelling every creation, this Paramatma has become individual Atma of the creation in appearance. Now, the omnipotency has got, we have to understand that omnipotency, Aishwaryam has got many qualities. One of the qualities is Jnanam, knowledge. So, if we take knowledge as an Aishwaryam, then the Achadiniyam becomes, it is the knowledge which is covering every object, or the awareness or the consciousness or the knowledge is the reason by which it is becoming known to every one of us. Each one knowing the other one is because the knowledge is common to all of us, and that is the one which is covering like a blanket. The light of the knowledge is the one which is enlightening the entire creation. So therefore, if whichever way look at it, we cannot escape the innate nature of the Paramatma and the Jivatma in all the creation. Now all the creation, how does it become the separate? Does it become separate? No. So here he says, Idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tat sarvam. Yatkincha jagatyam means in this world. Jagat means what mover, whatever moves. Because here the creations are considered to be movable, moving, because they have a creation, sustenance and dissolution. So their mobility, not the physical movement, their mobility for appearance, existence and dissolution is what is called the Jagat. Jagat means what is moving. So here, even though the Prithivyam Jagat is the word is used, it is to be taken as a Upalakshana or as an indicative word to include everything perceivable and what is subjected to creation, sustenance and dissolution. So Yatkincha Jagatyam Tat Sarvam Atmana Achadaniyam. Whatever has been created in the perceivable world cannot escape this innate nature of the Paramatma, and therefore Pratyekatmataya has, having become the individual Atma of this individual creations, it is occupying the entire individual creations of this world. Pratyekatmataya aham eva idam sarvam iti. When it happens, each one of us should be in a position to understand that aham eva idam sarvam. I am indeed is this every creation. It is not separate from me. How? Pratyekatmadaya. By the innate nature of my Atma is the very Atma in every creation. Every object in the perceivable world is nothing but having an innate nature of Atma which is not different from me. So how can I be different from anything which I am seeing as perceivable world outside? The container of a jar can contain separate items in it, like grains or liquid or perfume or etc. But the space being the common, the space is occupied by the grain or the space is occupied by the liquid. Doesn't make it the liquid less different from the grain occupying the space. The space is being the same. Same way, Atma being the same in every perceivable object of the world, Aham in the mind, if I am having the Aham feeling in my body, this body has an Atma which I am now perceiving it as Aham. Eva idam is this body which I am perceiving as body, which I thought now is that I, is that one with the aham feeling, that I am is the feeling inside, or the pratyagatma, which is the nature of that innate nature of the atma, and that is the common with everything. So therefore, sarvamidi, sarvam, every creation in the world also having the same feel, same thing. I am feeling the I in me. You are feeling the I in you. Every object, animal, whatever is perceivable, whatever is experiencing and showing, is capable of doing that. Now here we should understand it is due to the difference of the object conditions that the exhibition of the capability to say I am varies between human beings and animals to plants and the rocks and the innate objects. The mind is most developed and vocabulary and communication is most prevalent in the human being, less in the other creations like animals, birds, etc. Lesser is in the case of plants, etc. Still less or even absent in the case of rocks and sands and other things. And we do not know many of the creations which are being in the name of atomic in nature. What do they exhibit and express? We have no idea. But they have potencies. We can realize, we know that from the atomic bomb, etc. The potencies of the capabilities of the atoms are also there. So whatever is there, the potency, omnipotency is present in everything. Whether we exhibit aham or not. But pratyagatma, or the innate nature of atma, is there in sarvam. Therefore, ahameva idam sarvam. I am indeed is everything in if I am considered I am the innate nature atma. So here this is the important aspect of the first line. Om Isavasyam idam sarvam yatkinja jagatyam jagat. In this moving world, whatever is there, pratyagatmadaya, I am the one, and that is because Isha is vasyana achadiniyam idam sarvam. This, everything that is perceivable world has been innately occupied by the same Isha. Now in the second line, tena tyaktena bhunjidaha is one part of it. Tena tyaktena bhunjidaha. Now this is a very archaic usage. Therefore, difficult to even understand its meaning. People often make the mistake that tena means by Ishara, tyaktena, having abandoned, bhunjida, you should eat it back. Now what is this? This is not exactly the meaning here, because the word tyaktena is not a word in the root or the grammar where the verb is used. It is a noun. Tyaktena, like tena, tyaktena is the description and the subject, the visheshana and visheshya. So, Ishena, Isha is the tena, Isha. Tyaktena, by tyagena, is the meaning which has to be taken. Because tyagarte is the meaning which Shankaracharya has mentioned because archaic usage. So, whatever has been perceived in this world, there is a innate nature and observable universe. The observable universe has to be tyaktena, by abandoning the observable nature of the universe, which is the names and forms. Bhunjidaha. Bhunjida means there are two meanings for it. One is to consume, to nurture, or the other meaning is palana poshanayo, means to protect. Here the meaning had to be taken is protect. So protect, having abandoned from whatever has been occupied by Isha, the perceivable nature of the universe, we have to accept the innate nature of the universe. Then only we will know what is the meaning of Isha Vasimidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. If we do not do the Tyaga, Bhagatyaga, that partly we should abandon and part the innate nature we accept, we will not be able to understand that what does the Upanishad is trying to let us. Here Adi Shankara is using, this is a instruction for sannyasa. Because he says that the first stanza of the first mantra is for the sannyasi to follow for the path of nivritti. As per the Shastras, there are two paths which have been described in the beginning of the creation. Nivritti Maga for the sannyasins and the sadhus and rishis, saptarshis, etc. And Pravritti Marga for those who are engrossed in the observable universe and who have got desire for the three desires which are categorized in the Vedas. Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana. That is for progeny, for the different lokas like Swarga Loka, Vidru Loka, etc. The worldliest world where you can achieve by Brahmaloka, etc. by doing karmas. And Vitteshana, wealth, which includes wife. Wife and wealth includes wife, cow, everything is wealth as per the Vedas. But whereas son is considered separate because son, if he is not there, your karmas which you are doing, the karmas in the Vedic karmas, you need the son to continue in case something happens to you, you are unable to complete the yaga or the sacrifice. And there are some sacrifices like the Pridhir karma, everything after one's demise. It is the son who is destined or who is empowered to do the Pidra karma, not a daughter. So that you will go to the Pidra Loka or Brahma Loka, etc. after that. So Putra is a desire by those who do the yagas and claiming for the desires. Then the lokas for which they do the yagas, etc. And the vitta or the dhanam. Here, dhanam is included in that, which is coming in the next verse. Even in this one, first verse itself, the last word is dhanam. So you should understand that. So tena tektena means by abandoning the dhanam, etc. or the observable universe, protect. Bunjira means protect the innate nature of the individual creation or thing. Kasya siddhanam, the last two words. Kasya siddhanam. Kasya svidh. The word svidh is a particular word used without any meaning but for the meter for to be completed. But it can be also used for a specific meaning in the form of a question, like after all. So kasya dhanam. Whose dhanam? After all, it is whose dhanam? If everything is occupied by Isha, or Isha is the innate nature of everything, then everything is of Isha only. So how can there be any dhanam which is other than of Ishvara? Therefore, ma ghrida, do not covet for it. You should not covet for any dhanam. You should covet for the innate nature of the nature in the each of the dhanam which you are seeing. Not to go for the putreshana and vitteshana, lokeshana, etc. So, if you look at the whole mantra, here it is a very clear instruction that we have to have the tyaga or the nature of renunciation for the attractions of the world to the innate nature of the world which should be protected. And once you protect that, then only you will be able to see that Vasudeva Sarvamiti or the whole world is Brahman or whole world is Isha. And then once you know the whole world is Isha, you will not have any desire to have any specific item in the world because everything is made of Isha only or the nature is Isha. Whatever is seeing as creation, sustenance and dissolution are temporary phase or appearances in the world, and there is no point in running after what is changing in this world. This is the first mantra, what is all about in the first sub mantra of the Isavasyopanishad. And here, one thing which we have to remember is that if we are not able to do this Atmaivam Sarvam and Atma Eva Idam Sarvam, this is Atma, and if you are not able to do, then for you is the second mantra, because you are not designed, you are not fit for the first mantra, where the Nivarti Marga, for the emancipation or the freedom from the desires, which will give you the ultimate happiness, Satchidananda Sukham. That will not be your attainment, because you will be running after the nature of the changing world of universe. In an ever-changing world, you will be running after ever for the changing world. So, mithya vishayam ghridi mar karshi ityartham. These are all mithya vishayam. Mithya in the sense that they are all appearances. They do not have the real nature. What we call it as dhanam is not dhanam. They are nature. By nature it is Atman only. But if you see dhanam instead of seeing Atman, you are having a mithya vishaya darshanam. You are seeing the mithya vishayam, not the Atma darshanam. And that should not be there. Therefore, ma karshi. Do not go run after the desires as the dhanam and putra and lokeshana. Atmaivegam sarvam iti matva. Consider that, and Atma bhavena aham idam sarvam. Therefore, have that sarvatma bhava, and in that sarvatma bhava, you will be able to find renunciation from the dhanam or the attractions of the world, and then only you will be able to see the Atma within yourself and within the world outside. So I think I will curtail it today's talk to this lecture today and move on to the question answer session, so that I can give justice to the next session, because otherwise I won't be able to do in 15 minutes the remaining mantra. So I'll stop here and we will move to the question answer session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Amarishibhyo Paramarishibhyo. Thank you all. Yes,
Binduji,
Kari.
before we go to
Yeah.
Karen, I just wanted to thank you for taking us through this Upanishad. And we're very, very fortunate. And to just remind everyone that Binduji asked that in this session, we just ask questions specifically related to this Upanishad, to this class, or to the class that was last Wednesday. And that if there are more general questions, that those wait for the weekend general question and answer sessions. And so I just wanted to add that in. As well, Binduji, before we go right into question and answer, did you want to say something about the document pinned above and the book that's in the chat so that people know? Or do you want to wait till later?
Yeah, I can say that. See, the one which is pinned into in the room is the concise form of the Upanishad, which is easy to follow from when I am talking about. If you want to have the English commentary of Shankaracharya translated by Swami Gambhirananda of Advaita Ashrama, that is there pinned in the chat box by Atmisha. You can download it from her that in Dropbox, and that has got the 8 Upanishads which are there in the Ishakena Kata Prasnam Dagaman, and that is given in the 8 Upanishads. So the first one is the Isavasyopanishad, where the Shankaracharya's Bhashya, without the Sanskrit, except only the shlokas have been given, but the Sanskrit wordings are not there. Directly, he has translated the Shankarabhashya, and you can resort to that also and it will be better if you can go through that and prepare yourself before you come, so that you can correlate to what I am talking about, and your questions can be more precise with relate to what I talk and what Shankaracharya's Bhashya is related to. That is what I want to say. We'll go to the questions now. Yes, Karan.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Binduji. The Isha is, I'm just trying to get some clarification of the Hindi names. The Isha and the Paramatma, they are the same, yes?
Isha and Paramatma is the same.
Yes.
The reason is that why is that the word Isha is the word for word Aishwarya. Now Aishwarya, if you look in the dictionary, there are plenty of meanings there. But we consider in the tradition, 8 Aishwaryas are Ashtaishwarya. And one of them, Ishitvam, is one of them. Ishitvam is omnipotency. So omnipotency comes from not by the power of the supreme self, but also the power to be in everything, what appears, what in him appears, or what in it appears. So Isha is not just a theistic name for a god. It is more for a omnipotent spirit or a power which appears in, or which appears as many, but appearance are in itself. Like I told you, the water and the waves. The wave is not separate from the ocean.
Yes.
And the waves are part of the ocean, but appears to be separate from the ocean. But in reality, it is not separate from the ocean. That way we have to consider that.
Yes, thank you. Understood. Then that Ajnaniya, that is the penetrating force of the Atman?
There is not penetration. If you have to say penetration, there has to be something separate from it. Now, that is why I use the word jnana is also one of the Aishwarya, apart from omnipotency, is the awareness or consciousness of the nature of Isha. The omnipotent has got that power also. So by becoming the innate consciousness in appearances, it is percolating or pervading every creation. So it is not penetration, it is pervading in the nature.
Yes, agreed, totally. Thank you for that. Now, one more question is, where does the Turiya come in then?
Turiya is another name for Isha.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes it simple. Can you say that Turiya is more based on the individual, and Isha is more when you talk about the world?
No, at the level of Turiya, the individuality is gone.
Yes.
But to arrive at the Turiya, we use the individual steps of waking, dream, and deep sleep, and the fourth as the Turiya.
Yes.
But the moment you are in the Turiya, the individual is gone, because the waking, dream, and deep sleep is gone. So the individual is also gone. So Turiya is the sum total of all, and it is not specific to one individual, it is to the total universe or total Brahman.
Cool, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess I will ask the most simple question is like, because of the questions of Karine, which is triggered, like everyone knows the sleep, dream, deep sleep states, and Turiya, like who experiences Turiya? I mean, we know you use the ego, the individuality to get there. We know that, but who has experienced it? Who writes about it? Who talks about this? Have you experienced it? Can you share? Thank you.
Turiya is experienced by everyone, is right now being experienced by everyone. There is a common denominator who is transiting between waking dream and deep sleep. We are talking about that common denominator who is aware of the changes, yet he is not particularly in the waking or dream or deep sleep. He is aware of the changes, therefore he has to be separate from it, and therefore is not particularly to the waker, dreamer or dream sleeper. He is the denominator of all the three, and therefore he is separate, and the fourth one, therefore he is called Turiya. And therefore he cannot be specific to the individual, because if I drop my dream, waking and deep sleep, I am no more an individual. I am that pure conscious awareness which knows everything. So I cannot be pinned down to one body or any body. It is common with everyone who is experiencing dream, weekend, all the three states. Even animals do experience dream and waking and deep sleep. So it's not specific to human beings. Every creation we'll have to take that way.
Yes, I understand that. Thank you for again clarifying the different states. Have you experienced Turiya states? Or if you can elaborate.
That's what I said. Every one of us is experiencing that, but we do not separate out Turiya while we are expressing our waking experiences or dream experiences or deep sleep experience. We are so engrossed as the ego individual, we forget our true nature. But we know that when we are pushed into to take the witness consciousness, the witness consciousness is easy to understand. But the witness consciousness is only available when you are identifying your waking dream and deep sleep. But when you do not have waking dream or deep sleep and you are that awareness, the common denominator Turiya, then you can't call yourself as a Sakshi, because you are moved out of the observation of the waking dream and deep sleep. So therefore you are the Turiya who is there right now in Rajinder, who is asking this question, but he thinks he is the waker and asking the question. Therefore he is not able to see the Turiya, but it actually is the Turiya who is asking this question.
Yes, very nicely said. But it's still,
Because you're
I still
still
don't
in
get
it,
what you're
because you're
saying. But
still covered in ignorance. That's why you're not able to take the two. Because when you're in the waking state and you're in the ignorance and you know about it, but you really aren't established in it, then it doesn't make sense, right?
so would it make sense that Turiya would be the ignorant state?
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
For these three words, Ten Tyakten Bhunjita, there are two meanings which I have read. One is that protect through detachment, and the second is that renounced, enjoy. So for the first, it becomes protect the innate nature of yourself while experiencing, with the knowledge that all this is Isha or Brahman.
Yes.
And the second, experience the Brahman through detachment.
Right.
But still, I feel that there is a difference between the first and the second statement. Meaning, when we say enjoy, it doesn't exactly has that knowledge part in it. Even
Right.
though
In
I
the
want
sense,
to experience.
I'll explain that. Enjoying to enjoy renouncement, or when you are in a state of detachment, how do someone cognize that there is an enjoyment? Because to common mind, enjoyment is always with attachment to the objects of the world. So detachment and enjoyment do not go hand in hand for the ordinary people. But here the Upanishad is saying detach and enjoy means in the detachment there is a happiness or a ananda, not the materialistic enjoyment of objective happiness, but there is a subjective happiness in the detachment. That detachment can be achieved only if you detach from the world outside and attach yourself with the Atma. Ahameva idam sarvam. I am indeed the Atma of everything. And that happiness is not of your happiness. It is the happiness of Sachidananda Atma, which is indweller to everything here. So the attachment or the detachment and the happiness is going hand in hand from the point of view. Your happiness is from the detachment from the world outside and attaching yourself to the Atma. In the protection, you are protecting yourself from having detached. You are protecting yourself, not yourself alone, your Atma also, and not getting tagged again and called or pushed back by the world outside toward the desires. So to remain yourself detached, you need to protect, and that can be achieved only if you attach yourself to the Atma. These are the two ways in which attach and protect and happiness can be considered. Detachment is the same.
Can we say that the first statement deals with Viveka and the second with Vairagya? For the first, Viveka comes first and then Vairagya, and in the second, if there is detachment, then there is enjoyment. So Vairagya is like directly there.
Yeah.
Am I right?
See,
Say such
you are right, but Viveka and Vairagya is two sides of the same coin. Without Viveka, you can't get Vairagya. Without Vairagya, you can't get Viveka. But the enjoyment, it comes out of Viveka, and enjoyment can come also out of Vairagya. But normally Vairagya is Vigada Raga, where you don't even like enjoyment. But that is considered for the worldly objects. But Viveka Yukta Vairagya, that is a Vairagya that is detachment with the knowledge. Viveka Yukta Vairagya. That is definitely the solution for happiness, or the happiness or the ananda of the Atma, not the happiness of the world of objects. You are right. Yeah, Patrick?
Are you kind of feeling you've had enough now? That we've covered all we
No,
need
if the
to do?
questions, if the questions are there, I'm ready.
Yeah, Sri doesn't want to come up,
Yeah,
but he's asked a question in the chat.
what is that? What is that?
Sri Vidya has said, Bindoji, have you experienced Isha as a living reality in the material world, or is it a theoretical understanding for you? And when the world is Isha, how can it be an illusion? This is my question. This is from Sri Vidya in the audience, but doesn't want to come up.
Yeah, I know, Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya, we have discussed this in length long time back, but to recollect what I have to say from your question, this Isha is the very nature we all exist. So existence is being experienced by all. Sat, Chit, Ananda is the nature of Isha. So if anything is existing, it is because Isha is present in it. And if it is being experienced by anybody, I will say everyone is experiencing, because nobody cannot say I do not exist. Yeah. So existence is part of everyone. Therefore, Isha is being experienced by everyone. It's not theoretical. Theoretical may be the other aspects of Ananda or Chit, which needs much more clarity in the mind, or the Chitta Shuddhi. The theoretical analysis need to be pondered upon, and with your mind you need to delve deep in, because consciousness is a faculty of the brain and the mind, and it is experienced while waking, but it is experienced even when the waking is not being there. But whether the consciousness and the Ananda part is much more personalized, but one who is established in the Sat and is able to identify the Sat, to establish or to identify and enjoy the Chit and Ananda aspect is not difficult, because that will become natural for them. So what was the last part of the question?
The
Yeah.
last part was, how can it be an illusion?
Yeah, it is not. It is a illusion. Is only an aspect of it. The illusion is that I exist in our common experience. Is not a illusion. So there is a reality to it. But I am the body is an illusion, because the body has undergone change, but we still hold on to the body, saying that I am the body, and our experience is that I am the body. What the body is existing is not in the same form. The existence of also has gone through change. So the existence has not changed, but the shape of the body has gone through change. So the existence is noticed by an entity who is also knowing the body is changing. So he is not part of the body. So the illusion is of the body, of not the entity who is knowing the reality of the existence.
Thanks, Binduji. Yeah, that was, I think it was more of a question in general about Advaita. It sounds like maybe there's some real challenges for some people accepting basic Advaita. Krishna makes some beautiful points though in the chat. Creation is a relative, transactory, sensory reality. Isha is the essence of it, which is shapeless, formless, limitless. Beautiful, Krishna. Thank you for that comment in the chat. If there's anyone else in the audience that wants to come up, please do so. Take this opportunity. Ravati, please go ahead. You have a question for Binduji?
Yes, Revati.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
My question was about, you said something, Upalakshana, Jagatyam Upalakshana. What is...
Okay.
what is
Upalakshana is a secondary meaning or secondary example. You can say that. So here the Jagat is used, or the world is used as a secondary example for Jagatyam Jagat. Normally the word Jagat is used for Prithvi or the earth. But here Acharya Shankara himself says that it is only a secondary example. We have to take the entire perceivable universe. In substituting the world as Jagatyam Jagat should be substituted with perceivable world or perceivable universe instead of just the earth alone. That way it is a secondary example, Jagatyam Jagat. That is called a Upalakshana.
And Kartrutva, Bhoktritva are Lakshanam, and it is Upalakshanam. It's said like that.
Yeah, Kartrutva, Bhoktritvam is existing only in the perceivable world, no? But not in the Atma level, where they were the Isavasyam level. So the Kartrutva, Bhoktritva is in the Jagatyam Jagat, which is being experienced in the world by those who are. The next mantra will come, Kurvanneva Karmani, that will explain it much more at that time. Because only in the perceivable world we have the Kartrutva, Bhoktritva, mean doership and enjoyership. So that is perceivable only for the world of, in the earth only. That is why.
Thank you. Thank you, Binduji.
Vijayji, I have a question about, and if this will be answered later classes, we can skip it totally. But I'm wondering about why what you spoke of on Wednesday between those who still are going to need to work through their karmas, as opposed to this first mantra, what comes to my mind is it seems like if someone really knows what they want, that they would not have any problem letting go of desires, or at least intending and having that as their path. And it seems like, the ordinary person who might just say, oh, I can't do that, then they would jump to the second mantra and say, well, then I'll go on this path with karma. And then, maybe eventually that would change the psychology of the person, and they could go back and be dropping the desires. But I'm just wondering right now why there's not an emphasis on really knowing what one wants. Because if one truly wants spirituality, as opposed to having spirituality just a nice addition to their daily life, it just seems like the first mantra would be the path forward. Is now a time to talk about that, or should we leave it?
Well, I will like to talk about this more after the second mantra, because it needs explanation of the second mantra. So I will reserve my answer to the next class's question answer session. You can ask the question at that time, or if it gets answered by that time, then you please let me know that your question has been answered while explaining the second mantra, because the second mantra is talking about that only. And as I said, that both the root of renunciation and the root of the karmas have been prescribed in the beginning of the creation itself by the Creator, knowing very well that there are difference in people and their mental capability is different. So that is why the karmas, mimamsakas, those who are doing karmas and the activities in the world, they are not being decried about. They have been told that they are not inferior also in any way. But their mental capability is not ready to accept the renunciation or detachment from the world of objects. If some people, after having gone through this many life, as per the karma theory, they by default fall for the renunciation route, and blessed are the few who take that route and achieve the target of the atma pratyagatma, that ahameva idam sarvam, I am the everything here in this world, because vasudeva sarvam iti. All these things are talking about the same thing, that yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha maya pashyati. Whatever I see here is seen in me, or I am in everything. Or even the Chandogya Upanishad where we taught, yatra na anyat pashyati anyat shrunoti anyat vijanati. All of them are talking only one language, that there is nothing other than that in this world. If you say the other thing, then you are under the clutch of the ignorance, the aviveka. The aviveka is that not knowing your true nature, not of anything else, your true nature. And it is well within you, and who else can find it out more than you? It is not that somebody else has to show it to you. You have not understood who you are. And once you know who you are, then there is no need of finding out what the world is, because you will know the world is not different from you.
Thank you, Bindaji. As Patrick said, anyone who has a question related to the first two classes, as Patrick says, don't be shy. Any sort of a level of a question that's related. Let's see if there's anyone else who would like to talk to Bindaji.
Well, if I may, Binduji, I liked very much what you said. It's like it's like a huge loop. Is it not? It's a loop to oneself. How does that resonate with you?
I didn't find any loop when I inquired about it. It was a straight path. The loop is when you look back for your desires in the world outside. Then you will go into loop, looking back and looking forward, looking back and looking forward. That is a loop.
The loop also brings us to this moment.
Yeah, but then you have to be direct, as the Acharya says, Shravana Samakale eva jnanam. The moment you listen to it, the knowledge should shine within you, and then you know what is the truth. Then all your ignorance is squashed or dissipated, and then you don't have any ignorance anymore. So there is no question of loop there coming in.
Yes, I agree. I agree. The loop in the sense that you would have to lose yourself to find that back again, because it's nowhere else, right?
Yeah, that way it's a loop. You are going back home.
I just wanted to say before we close, Bindo, that many people don't know the relationship between Nitya and Bindo. Nitya, if you didn't get in the room at the beginning, Nitya started with the opening mantras, and Nitya and Bindo shared the ashram in their 20s when they were just children, and they've stayed connected for decades since. And I don't want to age either of you, but yeah, it's Nitya. The addition of your voice with Bindo brings an element that was missing before. So it's nice to see that things are even getting better after what Bindo's gone through. And Nitya's tears last on Wednesday, I think, were shared by many. I was bawling in the background, only in reverence to the love that you have for your great friend Bindo. And I've been witness to many great arguments with lots of laughs included, but your devotion and friendship to this beautiful man is awe-inspiring, and it's brought about a new level of respect and love for me, Nitya. But aside from that, your deep knowledge and conviction to both Shiva and Shakti are a great inspiration to me as your rainbow. So I just wanted to say that it's nice that we've been apart now for months. I don't know how long it's been, Bindo, since we did our last class, but it's really wonderful that Nitya came and is joining us.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the room then. See you all tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you all. Hari Om.